Right now. So welcome everyone to the West Placer Housing Showcase. My name is Deb McNally. I'm an associate planner with the county, and we have a number of great panelists here today to talk to you about all the work that they are doing around housing in the county and kind of the resources that you as residents can access and take advantage of. So we'll have a number of panelists today kind of going through that, and afterwards, when everyone has presented, we'll then open it up for your guys' questions. So feel free, if you have a question, write it down. You can also put it in the chat, question and answer, and we can get to that a little bit later. Sometimes they might be able to write an answer kind of as we go along, but we're really happy to have you here. So we'll get started because I realize it is Saturday and you guys probably have a lot to get to later on today. So we'll start with the Placer County Department of Health and Human Services, and that's Erin Fedor, who is the program manager there. So Erin, I'll turn it over to you.
Hi, Devin, thank you for the introduction. So I will note from the get-go, Greg Geisler is with me, and he is Director of Services. He had a little trouble getting in, so although it says my name under him, just keep in mind that he is Greg Geisler. He just used my invitation for the event. But I'm actually going to have Greg start out, and then he'll transition over to me.
Oh, yeah, thank you, Aaron. So I'm Greg Geisler. I am the director for the Human Services Division of HHS. And Human Services oversees the benefits programs, eligibility for the benefits programs. You may be familiar with CalFresh, Medi-Cal, CalWorks, General Relief. These are, of course, indirect housing supports, but there are also a number of direct housing support benefits offered by our division to some of the folks that we work with. In particular, on the CalWorks program. The CalWorks program offers financial aid to families with dependent children, assists in getting folks employment, and also has a number of housing components built in. Of these, there is the temporary housing assistance, and this is for families that are facing immediate homelessness and have no place to go. The temporary housing assistance program offers CalWorks recipients and applicants a voucher or money for a motel for up to 16 days. And there are additional allowances that can go beyond that. But this is when folks are first experiencing homelessness. Beyond that, we have a number of permanent permanent housing programs, rapid rehousing programs. Our housing support program, we call HSP, offers a subsidy for our CalWorks families. Generally speaking, it is a 6-month subsidy that starts off at the full rent and decreases over time as the family begins to take more responsibility for the rent. But it does allow us to rapidly rehouse the family, get them into an apartment or a housing unit, and assist them with the move-in costs, such as the deposit and the utilities, etc. And then also with the rent, and eventually allow them to take over paying the rent themselves. Again, that's generally for about 6 months. And then the Bringing Families Home program is very similar, but it is for families that are in reunification through child welfare. So we work with our children's system of care and to do that program. So generally speaking, it's for folks whose children may be in foster care, and a barrier to them having their children return would be housing. So we work in the same way we do with the housing support program to find them housing. We just have a little bit longer of a subsidy on that program. Human Services also oversees the Housing Authority Many of you may be familiar with the housing choice vouchers. These are also often referred to as Section 8 housing. And the vouchers, generally speaking, we have a wait list for folks to obtain a voucher. And the vouchers can pay for the rent for the voucher holder, depending on their income, can be more or less of a subsidy. And generally speaking, these vouchers are you have to be on the wait list for them. But we have a number of other vouchers that are for specialized populations. We have our FUP vouchers, which are for folks that are former foster youth or for families in reunification. We have our mainstream vouchers for folks with disabilities. And we have our VASH, or Veteran Affairs Supportive Housing vouchers, which are for homeless veterans. And we work with the VA to administer them. And we have our project-based vouchers, and the first ones that we've had are with the new Mercy project, the Mercy Housing Project in the DeWitt Center. So those are specific to that complex. So those are the different housing options that Human Services offers. And I'll hand it back over to Aaron.
Okay, great, I appreciate it. So again, I'm Aaron Kador. I am actually in the Adult System of Care division. So Greg's in Human Services. I'm in Adult System of Care. And so Adult System of Care is somewhat similar to saying adult behavioral health. And so I'm actually a program manager over the Housing and Homeless Services program. And so it's an interesting situation because it's housing and homeless services within adult behavioral health. So with a lot of the services that Greg mentioned, usually individuals seeking out housing and homeless services will receive some of the services that Greg mentioned initially. But if there's a behavioral component, then that's where my division comes in, Adult System of Care. So we've got a lot of different services in Adult System of Care. One is our full service partnership program, specifically our homeless full service partnership program. We have about 7.5 staff dedicated to that. That's got a behavioral health focus, and really it's clinical case management. It's a whatever it takes mentality and approach and attitude. It's 24/7 response. It's pretty comprehensive, and it's really for individuals that have pretty acute mental health needs. We also have about 2.5 staff on our homeless liaison team. They actually do direct outreach to encampments with law enforcement. They work very closely with the probation department and also Placer County Sheriff's Office. We also have 10 mobile crisis staff who respond to mental health emergencies in the community. We have 9 enhanced case or enhanced care management, formerly whole person care, and their focus is more of care coordination. So there can be a mental health component, but it could also be physical health, it could be medical health, it could be a variety of different concerns. So that's why it was called whole person care. And this program differs in that there's that broader focus, and it's more of case coordination or care coordination. Additionally, we've got 3 other full service partnership programs. So co-occurring, there's also a child full service partnership program in the Children's System of Care division. And then we have a contracted full service partnership program. And just as a note, funding sources dictate who responds. And of course, in terms of the funding sources, that has a lot to do with the regulations and the terms of the grants that fund these different programs. Additionally, we have contracted housing support specialists who are trained to get and keep people housed. We also have 30+ ongoing mental health and substance use services clinicians. We have 3 staff who are embedded in probation and really serve as a great bridge between probation and adult system of care and health and human services generally. And then we have county and contracted staff who support all of these housing programs that I've mentioned. Next slide, please. So this is just a helpful infographic. So this just gives you a sense of all of the different treatment contracted providers. So this is for those who have challenges with substance use disorder or mental health. So you can see that it's really quite a continuum. If you look at the bottom, it shows that on the left, you have more of the short-term services. Then as you move along, those are temporary, more transitional. And then as you move along even more, those are the long-term services. And so as you can see, even in terms of short-term services, there's detox, there's residential, there's inpatient, there's respite, and moving all the way to long-term services, there are unsecured options, secured options. I mean, it really is a good spectrum, a really comprehensive spectrum of treatment contracting providers. Next slide, please. And so here's a similar infographic, but instead this one focuses on housing contracted providers. So again, you've got that spectrum of going from immediate, which is more of outreach and emergency housing, to temporary housing, which is more of rapid rehousing, rental assistance, transitional housing, and then long-term housing, which involves support and permanent housing. And so you can get a sense of the number of beds that we have in each category. And I will note, just because this is something that is current, our permanent supportive housing beds is currently 149, but some of you may have heard that there is an award that the county recently received regarding 82 beds potentially being added to those 149. So we're always working on adding more beds and making sure that there's more support there for those who are experiencing homelessness in Placer County. And next slide. Okay, great. So this is just a slide that lets you know how to access many of the services that Greg and I discussed. So the easiest way to do it is calling 211 or the Homeless Resource Helpline, which is 1-833-3-PLACER. They both essentially lead to the same place, and they'll be able to route you to the right division, right program, right contact people, etc. And then below, we just have some information regarding the mental health services that I mentioned. So phone numbers for adult mental health services, as well as mental health services for children. We also have an email address there, if that's easier, mhservices@placer.ca.gov. We've also got some walk-in days and times and locations there, and urgent weekday appointments are available as needed. And just as a quick note, if we're talking about the kiddos, if children, regardless of insurance status, are having any kind of mental health issue that interferes with education, then the school would be the starting point. So that's what we've got in terms of Human Services Division and Adult System of Care Division, and we look forward to any questions you might have after the presentations.
All right. Thanks, Greg and Aaron. So next we'll have Trisha Issam. She's from the city of Roseville, and she's the housing manager there, and she'll be talking about some of the programs. A quick note, she'll be also talking about Rockland's programs because their housing manager wasn't able to make it today. But we'll be starting with the city of Roseville. So Trisha, if you want to take it away.
Yes, thank you, Devin. As Devin mentioned, I'm Trisha Issam. I'm the housing manager for the city of Roseville, and I'm also the executive director of the Roseville Housing Authority. Like he said, I'm going to be doing Roseville and Rockland, so I'm going to get right into it and begin with some of Roseville's programs. We have a couple of programs for home ownership. The first is our affordable purchase down payment program that stems from the 10% affordable housing obligation that was established in 1989. This program is geared toward assistance for middle income buyers whose gross income is at 100% of the area median income. These programs operate all throughout the city, and you can visit our website and sign up to be notified when the new affordable purchase programs come online. And I'll give that information on the next slide. We also have our owner-occupied rehab program. This is for low-income homeowners earning no more than 80% of the area median income. The program is for those needing to make energy-efficient repairs to their homes. Folks use this program to repair or replace things like roofs, water heaters, HVAC units, windows, and more. Homeowners receive a 0% interest loan to make the necessary repairs, and the program helps to preserve Roseville's affordable housing stock. The homes do have to be located in the city limits of Roseville. There is a waiting list, and you can email housing@roseville.ca.us to be added to the list. The city has its own housing authority, and it serves our very low income households in both the cities of Roseville and Rockland. The last time we opened our waiting list was in June of 2020. We typically open the list every 3 to 4 years. If you'd like to be notified when the waiting list will open again, or when a new affordable purchase program comes online, like I mentioned earlier, you can visit roseville.ca.us/housing and click on the HCB Section 8 square on the right-hand side of the screen, and then click on the receive emails box to sign up, and then you just choose from the list of the programs that populate. We do have a few special voucher types. If you could go back one slide, thank you. We have a few special voucher types that bypass our regular voucher waiting list. The first is our VASH vouchers for veterans. The head of household must be a veteran, and you can contact our local VA, or you can contact Lisa Gill at lgil@roseville.ca.us for more information if you're a veteran looking for housing. Our mainstream vouchers are for those under the age of 62 and permanently disabled, and are also homeless or at risk of becoming homeless. We also have our emergency housing vouchers, which are for those that are either homeless or near homeless. For both programs, you may contact our local 211 in order to be connected with one of the nonprofit organizations that help us receive referrals for our mainstream and emergency housing vouchers. I'm really glad that Aaron in his presentation went over a little bit more on 211, because they have a wonderful, wonderful resources at 211. So on the next slide, you can see a map of the affordable rental units in the city limits of Roseville. It's kind of small, so I apologize. If you would like an actual map, you can definitely email us. But the city continues to require 10% of all housing units built to be affordable. And we have over 2,000 affordable rental units spread throughout the city right now. To obtain a list of those affordable apartment communities, you can visit our website. We have another 2,000 units that are obligated to be developed as affordable in the future. The city has recently approved several new apartment communities, but construction has not yet begun. To get the most current information about new affordable units coming online, you can also visit our website. And then our website is roseville.ca.us/housing, in case you want that again. If you have any questions about what I presented here this morning, you can email us at housing@roseville.ca.us, or you can give us a call, 916-774-5270. Again, urging residents to call 211 if you're looking for any sort of resources. They are available 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. And they're just a great resource. So next I'll move on to the city of Rockland. And as Devin mentioned, I'm filling in for Laura Webster. So I'm going to go over their current affordable projects now. City of Rockland has 3 affordable rental projects that have been approved but not yet constructed. They have the Rockland Gateway project, which is located at Midas Avenue and Pacific Street, where up to 40 of the 204 units will be affordable to individuals in the low income category, earning up to 80% area median income. The Quarry Place project will have rental units for both low and very low income households located on the former Kmart site at Pacific Street and Sunset Boulevard. And this project consists of 180 total units. And again, it'll have both 50 and 60% units. And then lastly, the Terracina project is located in Whitney Ranch on the east side of University Avenue, north of Whitney Ranch Parkway. And this project consists of 285 units encompassing extremely low, very low, and low income categories. As this project is furthest along in development, the developer USA Properties has recently launched a website where people can sign up if they're interested in renting a unit at this project. And the link for that is included on this slide as well. The City of Rockland administers and implements sales transactions and 30-year affordable housing covenants on approximately 220 units within the Vicara condominium project in the popular Whitney Ranch area. These units were originally built and sold between 2007 and 2010. The city determines income eligibility of potential buyers and annually sets the maximum sales price for the units. Income is restricted to individuals earning 80% or less of the Placer County area median income, which is currently $65,250 for the 2-bedroom units and $72,500 for the 3-bedroom units. These units must remain owner occupied at all times. The Quarry Row subdivision was also recently approved with the requirement that 7 of the 74 single-family homes approved would be initially affordable to individuals in the low-income category at 80%. Interested buyers can obtain an application on the affordable housing page of the city's website and submit their applications and supporting documents to laura.webster@rockland.ca.us. Inquiries regarding any of City of Rockland's projects and programs should be directed to the contact information provided on the screen here. And I just really wanted to extend my thanks to the county for inviting us both to be part of the showcase in order to provide this information to the public. Thank you.
Thanks, Trisha. So next we'll have the Legal Services of Northern California. We have Antonio Valdez here. He is the managing attorney for the organization, and he is here to talk about some of the services they offer to renters and also individuals who might have some legal questions around housing. So Antonio, feel free to take it away.
Morning, everyone. If you're not familiar with Legal Services of Northern California, I work at our Mother Lode Regional Office, which covers Placer County, of course, but also Amador, Calaveras, El Dorado, Nevada, and Sierra counties. But our office covers 23 counties in Northern California. And last year we served a little over 1,500 people, which is pretty good considering, or actually I put 2022, it's supposed to be 2021, but which is pretty considering our offices have been closed, and most of 2021 we were doing our services remotely, but we are having in-office services again, Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays, and that information should be coming up shortly. Next slide, please. So I know we're talking primarily about housing, but as anyone can tell you, that their legal issues always tend to be multifaceted, especially if you are a low-income person with a low income. So we also do work with public benefits. So if you're Social Security, CalWORKS, CalFresh, general relief, or unemployment has been reduced or terminated, please give us a call back. Give us a call. Also, we work with the county on a Social Security program to get folks who are receiving county benefits, Social Security benefits, either SSI or SSDI. If you're an individual with a disability, please contact your county case manager to get a referral to our office, as well as we advise people on health coverage issues, medical debt, and that's a lot of the reasons why people have difficulty with finding housing, as well as IHSS, both folks who are care providers who may have experienced issues regarding their employment, or folks who are been denied services for IHSS or reduced services. Please give us a call. We are more than happy to talk and provide you any advice and on your legal matter. Also, we assist seniors and along with the issues that I spoke about just now, but in addition to consumer law issues, elder abuse, our services are completely free to individuals who qualify. If you are a senior over 60 in Placer County, we can assist you regardless of your income. But in general, our services are reserved for folks, generally who are going to qualify for, county benefits. We also do some expungement work also with the help with the county, and also work on education issues, specifically on terminations and suspensions. Um, Now, particularly for our housing rights, we assist solely tenants on these matters, or folks who are mobile home owners who may rent a space at a mobile home park. Generally, we help with eviction matters. And if you've received a termination letter or are in the middle of an eviction, please give us a call. That's a majority of, or a lot of what we do. But also we advise people on repair issues. If you need a repair in your house and your landlord isn't providing those repairs to you, or there's delays, give us a call. We could talk about what your rights and what to do. Also, if you have moved out and you haven't received your security deposit, what are your rights? We will advise on those, as well as just general you know tenant rights regarding if your lease has a term like about a subleaser and you're unsure like exactly whether or not you are allowed to have a roommate, give us a call. If you feel like you've been discriminated against, or in renting a place, or have been denied from renting a unit, please give us a call. We could talk to you about the process of how to uh, make complaints, and what your rights may be there. Um, I always tell people, even if you feel like there may be something that's incorrect with your tenancy, you're trying to find a house, but you don't really know how to exactly articulate the issue, please give us a call. We could try to talk to you about and try to narrow down your issues and what your options may be. Next slide, please. And so this is how you can reach us. We prefer if you give us a call on our main number, and we'll set up an appointment for you. But like I said, we do have walk-in hours Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, from 9 a.m. to noon and 1:15 to 4:45. Our office is located in Auburn, California. Um, and you could find our address at our website, lsnc.net. And we just updated our self-help page. So a lot of information on security deposits, as well as we have a great flyer on voucher discrimination. So if you are receiving a voucher, a landlord cannot deny renting you, even though just because you have a voucher. And this is a great tool because the voucher program has been a great way to create affordable housing in our community.
Thank you very much, Antonio. So the next up is Cassie Leone. She's the executive director at Everyone Matters Ministries, and she'll be just quickly talking about some of the work that her organization is doing to help with housing in our county. So Cassie? Oh. Cassie, are you able to talk? All right, we'll come back to Cassie really quick and see if she's able to fix some of her technical issues. We'll move over to American River Home Share. We have Justin Ellerby, who is the executive director of the organization, and he is here today to talk about the program, how it works, and how individuals who own a home right now might be able to get involved. So Justin?
Great. Thanks so much, Devin. Oh, I'm just getting the signal that my internet connection is unstable. Can you all hear me okay?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Okay, very good. Very good. Devin, just let me know. If not, I can try going to a different part of the house. Well, thanks, everyone. So basically, I just want to sort of set out the table here on what a program like mine can do. I was very struck by an article I read in 2019 that at that time, when a lot of activist circles had been talking and really emphasizing the problem of vacant non-market California homes. Oftentimes they're sitting empty, sometimes as speculative vehicles, sometimes for people that don't even live in America. And it was a big deal, and people rightly pointed out it's very, very many more of those homes than there are homeless Californians, just as a reference point. But what people didn't appreciate, and what the article makes very clear, is that there are 20 times more unoccupied bedrooms in owner-occupied homes across California than there are homeless Californians. Now, that's not to say that we can take the entire homeless population of California and stick them into 5% of these unused rooms, because there's social software, if you will, that has to go along to making any kind of housemate match work out. And of course, barriers to housing and such make it unlikely that those matches would work in every single case. But just as a reference point, I think it's very telling. We went one better and we took the method, please, Deb. We did one better and we took the methodology they used in that article and extrapolated it down to a county level. See, Placer County, at last count, had 74,000 of these bedrooms. This is housing that is sitting around us like dark matter. You don't need to sink a single nail, get a single permit to get folks housed through these bedrooms. But of course, unlocking the value of that and making it sustainable, fair, safe, valuable, and durable does require some third-party actor to make that happen. Next slide, please. So that's where HomeShare American River comes in. That is how it is said and spelled. Yeah, as you can see, we do screening, matchmaking, and the very most important part, the active support in order to make these housemate relationships go well and really serve a variety of different social purposes for a very wide variety of demographics. So one thing we'd like to push and get people thinking about is using the skills that they already have that they may never have thought they could have been able to monetize in any way. Things like cooking, cleaning, companionship, driving folks around. Those are all household services that are not only valuable, but for some folks receiving those services or seeking those services, they're actually unavailable at any price, essentially. When you think about what it takes sometimes to get someone to just pull down a bag of flour from a tall shelf. You're not going to call your IHSS worker out to do that one 10-second task, right? So there's something about having someone in the home, just being there, even that is of great value to a lot of folks, especially senior folks, older adults, folks with disabilities, and of course their families and caregivers. That said, although we are funded right now by the Area 4 Agency on Aging, and we primarily work with older adults and find them housemates, it is all ages welcome. We are not restricted to making matches that involve an older adult. It just ends up being those are the folks that disproportionately are open to this and benefit from it. Next slide. Great. So you may wonder when you look at our, go to our website, homeshareamericanriver.org, one of the first things you'll see is a very large service area, basically within an hour's drive radius of Roseville. So that is an awful lot of territory for a young nonprofit to try to serve. We only started getting paid to do this work in July 1, and we're only operational for a few months before that. So the way that we do it is not all of the other 47 home share programs across the United States do it this way, but the first and the oldest in Vermont does do it this way, where they have a limited number of staff, and then they have a small army of volunteer matchmakers, usually women, usually retired from the caring professions or customer service or what have you, who just have that knack with people and how people get along, trusted sort of mediators, facilitators, matchers. Again, the most important part of what we do on the hook to support it for as long as it's going out. So while we're always seeking new hosts, who, by the way, can be owners or renters themselves, we're very happy to work with housing choice vouchers, Very happy to work with other kinds of programmatic support and funding. We're also always looking for outreach opportunities like this, operational and funding partnerships like we've been developing with veteran services organizations, colleges and universities, all those sorts of communities of interest. But we're also always looking for volunteer matchmakers. Here you see Lynn Nelson, who also happens to be the wife of our co-founder, Dr. Reverend Virgil Nelson of the Placer People of Faith Together. They being our interfaith association and a fiscal sponsor. And then to her right, you see our other current volunteer matchmaker, my wife, Marta. And together with myself, we cover a whole heck of a lot of area and are always looking for new folks to join the team, especially as business all of a sudden last month blew up. We had made 3 matches in December, and then it was quiet for a while. And then as of right now, we are serving 9 hosts, looking for 10 guests between them among their properties. So it's a very exciting time over here at HomeShare American River. And we are very, very busy. We just invite everyone to send their support, to help us spread the word, and of course, helping us staff up with our staff volunteer matchmakers. Thank you.
All right. Thank you very much, Justin. So I'll finish it off with Placer County. My name is Devin McNally. Once again, I'm the Associate Planner for Housing in the county. And I'm here today to really talk about our first-time homebuyer program. And so what this is it's a silent second loan, essentially to help low-income, those making 80% or less of the median income for Placer County, buy a home. So generally, we say about up to $125,000 of assistance. It is limited. You have to be in the property has to be in the unincorporated area of the county. So that means kind of on the outskirts of Roseville, Auburn, around Loomis. So Granite Bay, kind of Sheridan, these kind of communities, and then obviously up in East Placer as well. We do work with other programs. Feel free, if you're working with a program, to let them know that you're interested in our program, and we will try to work with them. You can always have them connect with us, or you can reach out to us to have them talk to one another. So some of the requirements, you do need to complete a HUD certified homebuyer education course. We have a list of qualified courses. Some are in person and are free, and then others you can do online. There is some charge for it. So I recommend, if you are part of our program, save that receipt. We can reimburse you as you're completing the purchase of your home. Right now, we do have a limit on the purchase price of the home, which is $465,000. We are trying to get that raised, but that is a time-consuming process, and right now, it is still that limit. There will be a deed restriction on the property that limits the resale for a number of years. And that's mainly to make sure that it'll remain affordable in the future. However, that is not forever, and eventually that deed restriction does go away if you stay in the home long enough. Generally, it takes us about 7 days, so about 5 business days to turn around some pre-approval. And you can find out more on the website link below, and that's placer.ca.gov. You can also go to placer.ca.gov/housing and find our programs there. So a little bit about some of the eligibility. You need to obviously have a first mortgage lender. So that would be your traditional lenders. You have to make less than 80%. Right now, those are the income limits. So if you're a household of 4, that's a little over $72,000, a little over $50,000 if you're a single person living alone. You must have 3% of the total purchase price available. So these can be like savings or some other loans. It can also be a gift from a parent or a relative or someone else. And then you'll need to submit to us some kind of income so that we can underwrite this loan. That includes 3 years of tax returns, bank statements, pay stubs, zero if you have no income, 0 income affidavits, and then some additional information about the property. So some HUD forms as well. So we encourage you to reach out to us. Our website is right there. I've also included my email address, dmcnally@placer.ca.gov. We also have a fantastic housing specialist, Anne-Marie Novotny. They can be reached at amnovotny@placer.ca.gov. We're always happy to answer your questions and kind of help connect you with any resources you need. So with that, we are done with kind of that presentation. So I'll open it up now for questions. And so give me 1 second.